Come get some.
Something you'll notice right off the bat is minor complication starts with an absurd amount of enemies. And I did this intentionally because when I make maps, I want players to feel as though they've progressed through my level, from beginning to end. Where, in contrast to other maps where Duke Nukem is the macho man from the beginning, I want you to feel like you've earned that title. Where Duke Nukem starts out in a very stressful situation with nothing but a pistol to defend himself, but as the level goes on, you now have a Ripper, a shotgun, a RPG, and then you look back to that beginning moment and think, wow, this is how far I've come.
Come get some. Come get some.
One of the easiest ways to beat this map is to actually wake up the enemies and then corral them to a certain point and then just have them line up for the slaughter. It's one of the easiest ways to get rid of these guys. There are actually quite a few little jokes around the map that you'll notice as you play. Some of them you actually have to no clip for. So type in DN clip and see what you guys can find.
Come get some. Come get some. Who wants some?
Interesting side note here, that train switch was actually supposed to be the switch that activated the train, but I couldn't find anything to do with the emergency override room behind it, so I thought, let's connect the two somehow.
Come get some.
This was funny. During recording, I was actually trying that atomic health one more time just to see if maybe it'll let me pick it up this time. And I got frustrated and realized, no, it's not going to let me. So I just walked off, and that's when the atomic health picked up. I don't know why it does that. I really wish I knew, because a lot of people have had different experiences, but for whatever reason, it does not want to pick up for certain people.
Damn, I'm looking good.
I know a lot of Duke 3D maps have done this in the past, where they've made 3D toilets, but it wasn't until Ion Maiden did it that made me realize, wait, I need this in my map. This phone number here is actually a real phone number, and I urge anyone within the US to give this phone number a call. The reason I say if you don't live in the US, it might give you a charge for international calling, but I do recommend that you give this phone number a call. It's a real phone number. I found out while playtesting you can actually do something kind of funny with the train, and I decided to showcase it here. You could actually take a pipe bomb, put it onto the train, send the train forward, and then blow up some aliens. And it's by far one of the stupidest things to do. It really takes a lot of time just to set this whole thing up, but I do recommend just giving it a try, just for the shits and giggles. One thing I wanted to do from the beginning is give players the ability of choice. I wanted them to be able to make their own decisions and punish bad decision making. So for instance, if you went left and you picked up the blue key card and then went throughout the entire level to the Polaris outpost, did all that and got the red key card, opened the red force field, got all the way to the underground section, you'd realize, I need the yellow key card. So if you didn't go right at this point, you're going to be screwed, because you're not going to have the yellow key card, and now you're going to have to backtrack all the way through the map. And that was the common theme that I wanted for this map. For those who aren't familiar with Duke Nukem 3D's level design, won't realize that this entire catwalk is made out of sprites. In layman's terms, imagine making this entire catwalk out of paper mache. And it took about, I'd say, 2 to 3 hours to complete.
Holy shit.
Interesting fact about this secret, it was actually inspired by a comment my friend had made stating that it would be cool if the lava went down and revealed a small little cutout in the wall, which revealed to be a secret. And I thought that was a great idea, but it would be a small payout for such a large event. So instead, I repurposed it into a switch and a door. This room right here was actually the very last room I ever worked on in this entire map. I couldn't find a purpose for this room or what it would do. And it wasn't until the very end that I realized, you know what? This might work.
Hail to the king, baby. Much better.
A common thing I like to do in all my maps is I like to put a time completion stamp. To the average player, it'll just look like a random set of numbers, but in actuality, that is the time that I completed the map. So in this case, you'll notice 12:20. That's not the actual time I completed the map. Unfortunately, when I went to change it to 7:14, it didn't translate over to the final version. I'm not sure why. For whatever reason, I guess it didn't save. But the time I completed this map is actually 7:14. 4:20 is just completely satirical. Don't worry about it. I added this room intentionally with the focus of Deathmatch in mind. This room is perfect for campers. You have a one-way glass that sees into the lobby area, and you have a one-way glass that sees into the hallway. So it's perfect for you to just sit in there and camp it up. With the major drawback being, the only way you have out is through that hallway. So anyone who knows you're camping there is going to be sure to lay some traps out for you when you get out. That Devastator was actually supposed to be a shrink ray. I changed that last minute, but I guess that didn't save along with the timestamp. I actually had the Polaris outpost done and ready to go before I'd even started anything else on the map. Even the outside section. Clearly, I'm not the best speedrunner here. Although it says secret number 8, that was actually the first secret I ever put into this map. This pipe section was supposed to lead into the sewer area, but without an effective way to implement it, I just scrapped the idea and instead kept the pipes and made it a detour in order to press one of the buttons. So I put this jetpack down here in case for whatever reason somebody got shrunk by those new beasts and they got put down into this area. Because when you get shrunk, you don't take any fall damage and you can't walk on top of sprites for whatever reason. But I digress. I put that jetpack down there to help players get back up and added a little subtle nod to enjoy the flight back up.
Who wants some?
What most players don't realize is that this button is 100% optional. It does not affect the campaign in any way, and it will not affect your campaign unless you're trying to collapse the ceiling on all these aliens. I bet some of you died. I bet some of you got stuck. Bet you didn't know this.
Come get some. Let God sort him out.
The secret armory was actually intended to be so much bigger, but the problem is I ran out of walls. I couldn't make any more walls, rooms. I was stuck. So I hope this little QR code and the Duke music that plays in the background makes up for it. The ending intentionally leaves you on a cliffhanger. Will there be a part 2? Maybe. Maybe not. Guess only time will tell. Thank you so much for watching, and this is SCZ signing out. Peace!